All right, everybody, we are set. Sorry, I'm a couple minutes late, few minutes late. I have an awake baby. Let me check. Okay, no, that's all good. I have a baby blur setting. So if my face is blurred, it's to hide the baby. Anyway, let me know if you're here. Say hi in the chat. We have a pretty fun stream tonight. We're on chapter 3 on mindfulness and plain English. Oh, I'm on the wrong quote. The right quote going. Here we go. Very cool. And yeah, let's get a game started too. What's going on here? Intermediate, beginner. Yes, we're on our last 250 player. Last 250 player. Let's make us random and start it up. Let's see what we've got. Actually, I'm curious if I just end this real quick, because I really like 960. And I just saw that there's a settings on here. Check that out. We can do chess 960 on here. That is so cool. Bot chat. I don't want bot chat. You can't even see the bot chat. Well, I guess I'll leave it on just in case he says something funny, and then I'll let you know what he says. Cool. Custom position. There we go. All right. Custom position. How do we start? We want to open up the vision of our pieces. So these 3 pawns looking pretty good. This pawn especially looking good. Why? It's a center pawn. And it's backed by a heavy piece, the rook, and it opens up the vision of our bishop. So I like that. We're going to start with that. Anyway. Wife and I were discussing the name of the Mystic Book Club. We're changing the name. I haven't made it official by actually changing the name anywhere. But new name is going to be Magical Mystical Book Tour. Why Magical Mystical Book Tour? You're good. Oh, I gotta go away. Baby blur coming on. Why Magical Mystical Book Tour? Well, it was the Mystic Book Club. So, mystical, mystic, magical, mystical. That's a nod to the Beatles. And a book tour, Magical Mystical Book Tour. But also book tour because you don't have to read the book. It's a less serious book club, you know. I bring in the quotes to the stream. I talk about the ones I like, and if you're just interested in doing that, that is perfectly fine. Normal video coming back on. Baby is gone. So yeah, Magical Mystical Book Tour. And the first stop on this tour is Mindfulness in Plain English by Bhante Gunaratana. And yeah, I think we should get started. Conscious thought is the manifestation of ego, the you that you usually think you are. I thought that was so cool. I thought that was just a really great way to say it. So conscious thought is the manifestation of ego. That's what I liked. Oh, baby coming back in. Well, maybe. Is he? Maybe coming back in? You know, this happened the other night. And it was pretty hard to get started. So I think what we have to do, I'm coming back, is I think we just gotta start with some chess. Let me know if you're in the chat. We're gonna get started with the Magical Mystical Book Tour soon, but it's gonna start with some chess because baby is still awake, and it's tough with the baby crying. He's crying right now. Baby life, man. Okay, so what do I want to do? Do you want to develop knights before your bishops? These are odd squares for the knights. They're odd squares for the knights because this square blocks my center pawn. And this square... I just don't like that square for the knight. I like this square for the knight. But this... I think we'll just do this because... Oh, baby coming back in. Just so we're aware, the blur is on because I have a baby walking around the room. It's for his identity protection. He keeps coming in and out. We'll try it again. Baby blur coming off. Night video coming on. We're doing Magical Mystical book tour soon. Starting with some chess while the baby is awake, though. Which move do I like? I like this move. I like this move because it gives me an opportunity. It gives me an opportunity to push the pawn. Oh, he saw it. He's got two people on that location. So I think I'm fine pushing this pawn and putting a third person on that square. The three pieces would be one. Oh wait, two people. Two people on the square. He has two people on the square. Go ahead and match it. I like that. Sorry for the delay. Magical Mystical book tour starting soon. Just waiting for the baby to fall asleep. Waiting for the baby to fall asleep. What do we got here? Nothing. But we do have maybe this pawn push. I do like that pawn push. More pieces in the center. More space in the center. Like that. And you go like this. Do you want to take his center pawn? I don't know. My king is feeling a little drafty. But, you know, I'm not hearing baby sounds. I'm not hearing baby sounds. We're going to try Magical Mystical book tour again. So thanks for waiting. We'll pause the chess game for now. I cannot play and talk at the same time. That was the plan. That was initially the plan. Didn't happen. A little too complicated. And I'm not very good. So even against a 250 rated chess bot, Fabian still is a little threatening when I'm trying to talk about conscious thought being the manifestation of ego and not blundering. Not very good at it. Okay, but yes, let's get into the quote. Conscious thought is the manifestation of ego, the you that you usually think you are. Yes, I had to grab this quote because I love the way he said it. That conscious thought is the manifestation of ego. What does it mean? What does that mean? So conscious thought, as in, you know, you're going through your day and you're thinking about stuff that you have to do, things you want to get done, food you want to eat, frustrations that kind of get in your way, just all the verbal dialogue you have going on in your head is the manifestation of ego. So I like that. It's a super cool pointer that I haven't heard before. Like, all the verbal dialogue you have going on in your head is the manifestation of ego. And then he further goes, the you that you usually think you are, which is saying that you take that voice in your head when you're thinking about the things that you need, thinking about the things you need to do today, the food you want to eat. What else do you think about during the day? Tasks you need to get done. All of those thoughts the things that you want to do, the things that you want, the things that you don't want, that you is the you that you usually think you are, or it is the you that you think you are. So let's break that down. What is that saying? It is saying, so, and again, if you've been joining us on these magical mystical book tours, it always comes back to Mind Committee. What is the Mind Committee? The Mind Committee is our desires. So any desire that you have is a different sense of self. So there's a desire for you to have a meal. Oh, Cash Money Sniper. Hey, thanks for following, Cash Money Sniper. I'm super excited about this magical mystical book tour. So yeah, check out the Discord too. I'll do an exclamation point in the Discord. God bless you. May he protect you from all sins and blesses your week. Thank you very much, Cash Money Sniper. Discord. Yeah, check out the Discord. Check out the Discord. Yeah, anyway, so conscious thought is the manifestation of ego, the you that you usually think you are. Where were we? Yes. So every desire that you have you can consider that you can consider each desire that you have as a version, a sense of self, a sense of self. So there's the part of you that gets hungry, and then it says, what do I want to eat? Right? So if you consider that as a separate sense of self, there's a part of you, a different part of you. There's a part of you that wants to eat. And then that part of you starts thinking. It says, it goes through all the food options and it decides what would be the most satisfying. And that is another word I've heard for this is entities, which seems pretty mystical. I don't take it literally. I like the word entities because it makes it very easy on the imagination, you know? So there's an entity, an entity that is hungry, right? And you take that version of yourself on. You take that entity on to be you. You believe that version to be you, and you start thinking for it. Oh, I think this food sounds good. Or what else do you want in a day? I want a plan. I want my day to start with this, and then I'm gonna do that later. And so you just make a plan, right? And that is a desire. And so that's the planner. You can give each entity a kind of a name, right? So the first one was hunger. That's the hungry part of me. Then this is the planner part of me. Right. And then these entities, these parts of yourself, you take that part, you take that voice to be yours. And that is our conscious thought. So yeah, thinking about your day, that is the conscious thought, and that is the voice that we take to be ourselves, the you that you usually think you are. Yeah, and these voices are kind of interesting. They each voice is a desire. Each voice is a desire, and they all are searching. They all have their unique food source. So we've talked about two, the planner, and we've talked about hunger. So the planner, their food source, their desire is for all the plans that I have for the day, I want those to go according to plan, right? I've set it up. I know exactly how I want the day to go. I really want it to go that way. And if things all go according to plan, that is very satisfying. Like after you've eaten a meal, you eat a meal, you feel satisfied. You make some plans, they all go according to plan. And that's like the fuel source for that sense of self. the planner. That is the fuel source. Everything goes to plan. The planner eats its meal. It's very satisfied on the way things went that day. And then, yeah, it's satisfied. So it's hungry for the day to go a certain way. Now, what can happen is that the day doesn't go according to plan. And what happens then? Well, the planner is hungry for the day to go a specific way. It's not going that way, and it's hungry. So, and you don't feed it. You don't feed it because the day didn't go as planned. So it didn't get its meal. It didn't get what it was hungry for. And when that happens, it gets angry, and that's where irritation comes from. That's the whole idea of irritation, and that's the whole idea of these practices, is that we want to see these false senses of self for what they are. They are an illusion. They're an illusion. They have building blocks, specific components that go into each sense of self. We'll get to that at the very end. But yeah, so they can be dismantled, and that's that's primarily what we're going to be doing today, looking at our senses of self and recognizing them as more of recognizing them for the illusion that they are, and not who you are. Right? I think that's the title of this part of the stream. Who am I? Who am I? Right. You're and this quote, the you that you usually think you are, is your conscious thought. We take those conscious thoughts to be ourselves. But it's a very helpful exercise to notice your conscious thought and notice what you want in the moment. And you can label the conscious thought. It's just this is how this is like meditating throughout your daily life. You're going throughout your daily life. You notice what you want, and then you label it. You can label it. The part, oh, I'm planning. That's the planner. And what does it want? It wants everything to go according to plan. Or I'm planning my meals. We did that one. Hunger. Oh, that's hunger, and it wants a certain meal. What else do we want? I want to give more examples. Oh, how about scrolling? There you go. So, there's, that unconscious part of you that picks up your phone and knows exactly where the app icon is, and before you even are conscious, you've been scrolling for 7 seconds, right? And because you had an urge and a desire to scroll, so I say you, right? You had a desire or an urge to scroll, so you recognize that. That's the awareness practice. You recognize, oh, I had the desire to scroll, and then you label it. You can label it whatever you want. That's the scroller. That's the scroller, and you can listen to what it says. Listen to the words it makes you want to say. Like if you, I don't know, try closing your phone and not scrolling. What pops into your head? Like, oh, but I really want to scroll. I really want to scroll. And that is part of this practice. It's like, what is that? What is I really want to scroll? Back to the quote, the you that you usually think you are. But it's like, every time you say I want, who's that? That's the practice. Every time I say I want, who's that? Oh, it's the scroller talking. It's the scroller talking. And so each desire is an entity. That's metaphor is a entity. Yes, metaphor. That's a metaphor. Don't have to take it literally, but it just really helps the imagination. So each desire is an entity. you have the scroller, you have the planner. And when you start using I for, oh, I want my plans to go perfect today, or I feel like scrolling, I'm just going to scroll for a little bit. The I comes in, and that is the I you think you are. And that conscious thought is the manifestation of ego. Ego, that's another good word for it. Each desire is its own separate ego. So there's like a million egos. You have like, you're composed of a million egos, each desire its own sense of self. Label them. That is the practice. That is meditating in daily life, not sitting on the cushion, just noticing thoughts. It's the Buddhist term for it is vipassana. You're investigating your thoughts and you label them. I think I've covered that enough. Let me know if you have questions. That's clear. If you agree, if you've noticed that, if you plan on labeling, I'm going to make a couple chess moves. Plant Genie, so when they're stripped away, is there an I? I mean, that is a good question. Is there an I? I guess I would say there, behind the ego, behind all those entities, there is awareness. I guess that's what I would say. Is that I? I think I've heard people call it the true I, the true self. And it's I've also heard it called like universal consciousness, kind of. So demystifying that, it's just saying that we all, each of our awarenesses is the same. My awareness is not different from your awareness, is not different from the awareness that is in plants. So it's the awareness of the senses of self, the awareness of, so there's awareness of the ego, the part, that entity, that sense of self that wants something, and awareness shines on that entity, and we say, oh, that's me. And that's the confusion. Like, yeah, so the idea is that you're actually the awareness, not the entity, not the desire. You're not your desires. In other words, you are not your thoughts. That is the idea. So yeah, when it's stripped away, is there an I? There's awareness, and it's the pure awareness. And that's what we're trying to connect to. That is the idea, to like be there more. Yeah, let me know if you have any other questions. That was a fun one. Thank you, Plant Genie. Thanks for bringing that in. I like this knight coming out. Why? Because it develops a knight, and it threatens. It puts 2 people on this pawn. I could actually just take this pawn. Do I like that? Not really. I don't think I like it because it doubles my pawns. Why would I do that for fun? But I could bring my knight out and castle my king. So that's kind of nice. Bishop has nowhere to go. Queen can come out, but I don't feel like I need to bring the queen out yet. Let's just check this knight move. I don't really... Is it okay? I mean, it's fine. Actually, I kind of do like this knight move better than this one, because why? I can reroute my knight over to... Reroute my knight over to here, which is square I like my knight. I'll go with that. Yeah, so let's go to the next quote. Unless there's any other questions, type it in, we can go back. But I'm moving on. Check us out in the Discord. Follow if you enjoy a magical mystical book club. Magical mystical book tour. We're to the book tour now. Why? Because you don't have to read the book. The quotes are coming in. We're reading Mindfulness in Plain English by Bhante Gunaratana. We are in chapter 3. These are quotes from chapter 3. I think the title of this chapter is What is Meditation? But you don't have to read it. These are my favorite quotes from it. These are the quotes that I thought seemed, I don't know, a little confusing. And yeah, we're going over them. Grounding the practice. That's what we're looking for. Trying to figure out how to have a grounded practice. A practical practice that we can actually be intentional with and make some progress on the spiritual path, right? So we usually see life, here's the quote, we usually see life through a screen of thoughts and concepts, and we mistake those mental objects for reality. So this is building off of all these quotes today really build, so I'm excited. So we were just talking about how each sense of self is a desire, right? So we usually see life through a screen of desires fueling our thoughts and concepts, and we mistake those mental objects for reality. So this is a really cool thing. This is a concept in the Buddhist philosophy called small scale becoming. Small scale becoming, because how does it work? So we have a desire. We were talking about planning, right? We're talking about planning. So you start planning, you can be like, oh, there's a planner. I see the planner. And so the plan, and okay, you notice the planner, and then you start planning because you need to plan your day anyway, right? And you make your plan, and that sets up a screen on your vision. Small scale becoming. So when you desire something, it sets up a screen on your vision. So you create your plans for the day, and you have an intention for your day. So you see your vision changes. You know, I'm having trouble explaining this about planning in and of itself. We're gonna switch to just desires in general. Okay. So if you have a desire, so each member of your mind community is a desire, right? And when you have a desire, it alters your vision. It puts a screen on your vision. So you see things that are opportunities for your desire to come to fruition, right? So if you want, we'll use ice cream. I always like the ice cream example. Let's say you want ice cream. I want ice cream. You see the opportunities, like let's say you're driving down the road, right? You're driving down the road and you decide, I want ice cream. You will see the opportunities more clearly. So with that intention, the ice cream shops are going to now stand out to you. Another part of the screen that happens when you say, I want ice cream, and that version of yourself is speaking, is that you see obstacles. So maybe you see the ice cream shop up ahead that you really want to visit, and you hit a red light, and that red light becomes very apparent because it's getting in your way and it's impeding your desire. So so when you have a desire, you really notice the opportunities to make that desire come to fruition, and you notice the obstacles that are in your way. And everything else that has nothing to do with ice cream goes by unnoticed. So three things happen when you want something. When you want something, you see the opportunities, you see the obstacles, and you miss everything else. So we usually see life through a screen of thoughts and concepts, and we mistake those mental objects for reality. Yeah, we were talking about how each of our desires is a different sense of self. They're their own senses of self. And so every time you get lost in something that you want, you can think about it as putting on a different pair of sunglasses. You put on, so you could think about each desire as a different set of sunglasses. So we've talked about 3 plans: the planner that wants to make everything go right. So you can just imagine a table of sunglasses, and then you put on your planner sunglasses. And now, as you're with your planner sunglasses on, you see all the opportunities, obstacles, and everything else is blurry. You don't see it. And then you put on your hungry sunglasses. If you're hungry, they say don't go grocery shopping when you're hungry, right? Because everything, you're gonna notice a lot more of the things that you want and buy them, right? Because you're hungry and there's an intense sensation there, so you got your hunger lenses on, and then you walk into the grocery store with your hungry lenses on, and it's like, oh, I see all the stuff that I want. Versus when you're full. If you're full and you go into the grocery store, maybe you have your planner lenses on and you're going through the grocery store, but you're kind of thinking about, stuff you need to do throughout the day, and you kind of autopilot your way through the grocery store. You grab what you need to grab, and you just have a completely different experience. So every part of yourself, you can think of it as a filter, a pair of sunglasses. And when you put those on, you see what you want, you see the things that are getting in the way of what you want, and you miss everything else. It's actually pretty cool. I don't know what the video is called. Let me check really quick, but I will tell you about it as I'm looking on my phone. I'll put the link in the chat if I find it. There's this cool thing that actually, you can see this being demonstrated, in a short YouTube video. Let's see. Would it be? See if I can find it. I don't think I'm gonna be able to find this. I have no idea what it's called. Join the Mystic Book Club, and I will stick it in there. Under chapter 3, or I'll stick it in the general chat. I'll stick it in the general chat when I find it. But anyway, okay, I guess I won't talk about it because I don't want to spoil it. Sorry, guys. Well, let's see. Yeah, I think that seems pretty good. I think that seems pretty good for that quote. Let me know if you have any questions. Main idea here is that anytime you get consumed by something you want, you're missing a lot of reality. I guess we can we haven't really highlighted on that. So yeah, you're missing a lot of reality, because when you're stuck in a desire and you have that screen over your vision and you're only seeing things that will help you get what you want, and you see the things that'll get in the way of what you want, everything else goes blurry and you miss it. You miss everything else. So so we're just getting a distorted view of reality. We're not seeing reality the way it actually is. We're seeing it through a lens. That's where that whole idea comes from. You're seeing an idea through a lens. What is the lens? It is your desire. And what are you seeing through the lens? You're seeing everything that desire wants and all the obstacles that are in the way of you achieving that desire. So the practice is noticing when we're caught up in a desire, and that's what we do through the labeling. Yeah. So notice when you really want something. Maybe it's usually a lot of it is plans. You know, you really wanted a plan to go a certain way, and then that plan starts falling through, and then you can really get caught up in the I stuff and the ego stuff, like, oh, I really wanted it to go this way and it's not going that way. So yeah, that's what you see. You see the obstacle, and then you're start looking for solutions to the obstacle, because that desire is hungry for what it wants. It wants the plans to go according to plan. But you're just missing everything. You're missing everything because you're seeing through that lens, and it's distorting your reality, and you're missing everything that isn't an opportunity or an obstacle. All right. Let me see if there's anything else I want to say. I don't know. I think we hit it pretty good. You tell me. Any questions? I think we're going to make another chess move. We got pawn taking here. He just pushed his pawn. I don't know. I don't think that really does anything. I feel like I didn't like pawn taking here because I'm just doubling my pawns. I'm opening the vision of my queen. That doesn't... I mean, is that pawn? No, that pawn's not hanging. Right. We move our knight here. That's not bad, but we're moving the same piece twice, which I don't really want to do. The goal here for playing Fabian, a 250 rated player, is to just make good moves. No blunders. That's what we're going for. Anyway, if you're just joining, this is the Magical Mystical Book Club. We're going over Mindfulness in Plain English. My Magical Mystical Book Tour. It's a nod to the Beatles, and it's a book tour because you don't have to read the book. We're in chapter 3 of Mindfulness in Plain English by Bhante Gunaratana. I'm taking quotes. I'm reading it. I'm taking the quotes that I really liked from that chapter, and going over them so that we can apply it to our daily lives. And I don't know, have intention in our practice. So let's read this one. The I concept is a process. Oh, wait, not ready. Ooh. What's going on here? So weird. Okay. Yep, cool. Okay. The I concept is a process. It is something we are constantly doing. With meditation, we learn to see that we are doing it. When we are doing it... Oh, yeah, I read it wrong. With meditation, we learn to see that we are doing it, when we are doing it, and how we are doing it. Then that mindset moves and fades away like a cloud passing through a clear sky. Cool. So, the part I wanted to highlight, so the I concept, which is what we've been talking about, our different desires. All of your desires are their own individual I concepts, and those become your sense of self, right? Because it becomes the verbal dialogue in your head. And you start saying, oh, I really wanted that plan. I really wanted my plans to go just the way I wanted them. Or, oh, I really wanted that thing to eat. I really wanted that to eat, right? So it just feels very personal. It feels like you, right? But those are two different senses of self, and they're not you. One of them being the planner, and one of them being hunger. You can call it hunger. So every time you use the word I, you can see if you can identify the desire behind the I, and then you label it. Oh, hello, hunger. Hello, planner. Hello, part of myself that wants to scroll. Hello, scroller. We went over that one too. Hello, scroller. Interesting thing about these senses of self is that they are actually a process. And this is Buddhist philosophy. What are the processes that make up a desire and that sense of self? Well, they are, I think there's 5 of them. The first one is a perception. Perception is, what is a perception? It is, there's 2 definitions of perception. One of them is just perceiving, and the other perception is like more of your understanding of something. You've seen it before. You have an understanding, a perception of how this thing is. So we can take the planner example. Planner shows up, and something goes not according to plan, and you've already thought about it, right? You already have a perception on how things should have gone, right? And so that I starts talking like, oh, I thought it was good. I had the idea that it was going to go this way, and it didn't go that way. So right, so you have that. So that is the perception. So that is building block number 1 of these senses of self. Another building block is feeling. Feeling is another building block. So yeah, we take feelings to be super personal. So like with the planner, we'll just stick on the planner. You're going over your plans, and maybe as you're going through your plans, you feel super excited about how organized and efficient this day is going to be. It's perfect, right? You're going through it, oh, and there's like an issue, like, oh, but how are we going to correlate X and Y? Oh, I figured it out. We'll just do this and this and this, and then that'll be perfect, and that'll be perfect, and that's a really good feeling, right? Super good feeling. And then when things don't go according to plan, when your perception of the plan falls through, the feeling can turn sour, and you're irritated, right? So 2 building blocks: perception and feeling. The third perception is verbal dialogue, mental dialogue. And we just kind of went over that part of it when you're planning the day and thinking and solving problems in your mind, and how am I gonna put X and Y together in this plan? So yeah, the I is shining through there. It's the verbal dialogue. So we have perceptions, feeling, verbal dialogue. These are all actions. And these actions, we take them to be me, we put all these actions together and we label them the planner. Anyway, so those are 3 of the 5. The 4th action is oh, let me think. What was the 4th action? I just had it in my head. Oh yeah, bodily action. So it's really interesting. This one's definitely more subtle. But when everything is going to plan, I guess you could say you feel light, you know, feel happy, feel light. And then when things aren't going to plan, you know, the anger kicks in, and then your body can feel constricted. Your diaphragm can get constricted. Your breathing can become more coarse, right? So based on that's another part that, like, well, you anger, right? When you're feeling angry, I feel angry. There's the I, so that's anger. That's the anger it didn't get what it wants. It wants what it wants, and it's not getting it. It has a feeling, and it has a holding pattern in the body. Stress is another one. Let's go over stress because that's super familiar. Stress has a holding pattern in the body. It wants it wants things to go a certain way, but there's uncertainty, right? There's uncertainty, and that uncertainty brings out the stress, and stress manifests in the body with, like, you know, tight shoulders. Shoulders crunch up, right? And yeah, maybe your breath gets more shallow. And yeah, so you say, I'm stressed. I'm stressed out. Why are you stressed out? Well, you have this perception. Things aren't going the way I planned them. You feel anxiety, right? There's a feeling. Your body is tense. Your shoulders are up. Your breath is shallow. I have all of them written out. I'm trying to remember them, but it's tough for me on the fly. 1, 2, 3. Bodily feeling, perception. Oh yeah, and your internal dialogue is going off. Oh, there's only 4 actions. There's 4 actions. Okay, so I did remember them all. I thought there were 5, but there's 4. So yeah, bodily, in the stress, shoulders are rising, your breath is shallow, there's the feeling of anxiety, perception that things aren't going right, and then you're just talking, you're internal dialoguing. So those are the 4 building blocks of each of our senses of self. Each desire has its own holding in the body, its own feeling, its own perception of what it wants. It has its own perception of what it wants, and then it has an internal dialogue mainly about how to get what it wants and how to overcome the obstacles, right? Because we talked about how that sense of self puts a lens on your reality. You see the opportunities and you see the obstacles, and the internal dialogue is how you're navigating those. So those are the 4 senses of self. So the I concept is a process. Those four building blocks are actions, and we put those actions together and it creates that I concept. So it is a process, and it is something we are consistently doing unconsciously, right? Because we just naturally feel angry or stressed, or we just go into planning. We feel hungry, I mean, right? And but each part of yourself that wants something is made up of those 4 processes, 4 actions: the bodily action, the feeling inside, the perceptions you're holding, and the internal dialogue. And I guess what I want to say is that since they are actions, um, we have agency over them. There is there's an agency to them. Like usually we're swapping out between our different senses of self unconsciously, right? But through meditation, we learn to see that we're swapping out between senses of self. That's labeling the things that you want. And yeah, like, oh, here's this sense of self that's stressed out about this thing. And you can say, okay, sense of self, you are composed of 4 different parts: bodily, feeling, perception, and internal dialogue. So sense stress. So hello, stress. You have agency over it because stress is made up of 4 actions, and you can start with bodily. So you can mentally become aware of your shoulders and breathe calming energy into your shoulders and let them relax. And you can tune into your breathing and notice how you're breathing. Maybe you're breathing shallow or quickly, and change your breathing pattern. Take a deep breath. So you're taking control of that sense of I, and you're changing it. You're changing it, right? You can stay with the stress sense of self as stressed. Whatever the internal dialogue is another building block of that sense of stress. So, you'll probably, before you catch it, you'll probably be unconsciously thinking about what you're stressed out about. And, oh, I want it to be this way. It's not working like that. Now I'm super stressed, right? And then you clue in, stress arising, sense of I'm taking that stress to be me. And then you just quiet the dialogue. How do you quiet the dialogue? You sense inside. You sense into your proprioceptive awareness. What does it feel like to be in your body right now? And that is a technique. It's a deep listening technique, listening inside, and it quiets your internal dialogue. So because it's a listening practice, if you go into present moment sensation, what does it feel like for my feet to be on the floor? What does it feel like to feel my breath? What does it feel like to feel into my shoulders and let my shoulders relax? That takes a focus and an awareness and a listening inside your own body. And when you do that, well, for one, you've changed the internal dialogue to be focusing inside, and also that focusing inside quiets the dialogue, right? So, right, you were stressed, and we consciously changed the bodily fabrication. We relaxed our shoulders and we breathe more deeply, and through also doing that and being tuned in to how we feel on the inside, we're changing the internal dialogue, and we're quieting the internal dialogue of the stress, right? And here we go. You're feeling inside, you're relaxing your shoulders, you're breathing more deeply, you're not engaging in the dialogue about what you're stressed out about, right? And what does that do? It changes the third building block. It changes the third building block of identity, which is feeling. you just start feeling more relaxed, right? So now we're 3 of the 4 building blocks of stress have now changed, or at least diminished, right? That sense before you became aware, you had, thick stress lenses on. All you could see is um, the obstacles in your way, and you're just desperate for finding a solution, right? And, just to clarify, when you're stressed out about something, we don't want to practice spiritual bypassing, you know? I mean, you're stressed out about something, you should definitely look for a solution. And that's where these lenses are so great. I mean, you take on the sense of self when it makes sense. I'm stressed out about this situation. I see the obstacles. I need to look for solutions. But you look and look for solutions, and maybe you find one. Maybe you find a solution, but it's like, it's not going to solve itself overnight, And you're like, okay, I have a plan. I know what I'm going to do. I have my solution, but the solution is a slow process. So you're done. You're done thinking about it, except if you're entrenched in that stress sense of self and those glasses are thick, you're just going to stay there, and you're going to get stuck there, and you're going to get confined in those stress glasses. Your body's going to stay clenched, right? That's fabrication number 1. Your internal dialogue is just going to keep spinning on the same solution, trying to find a different solution, re-looking at all the obstacles, and you're going to stay stuck in this feeling. And you are holding the perception that, like, I don't know if I'm going to get out, and you maintain that perception, right? And it's just it is completely, it gets to the point where it's completely unproductive to keep those lenses on. You need the lenses to solve the problem. You solve the problem. The solution is not going to happen overnight. Why keep the lenses on? You don't need to keep the lenses on. You already figured it out. So you need a practice to take the lenses off. And the way you do that is you see that sense of self for what it is. It is comprised of 4 building blocks. You relax your shoulders. You deepen your breathing. You quiet the internal dialogue by feeling inside, feeling into present moment sensation. And that's just going to bring a sense of calm over you. And you're not even considering your perceptions of what the stress is even about, because the internal dialogue isn't fueling that perception. So maybe a new perception will come in. And that takes us to that other part of the quote, right? Then the mindset, the stress, moves and fades away like a cloud passing through the sky. And that's what we're trying to do, right? We get so confined in this screen, this view with our stress goggles on, that we deconstruct it. We deconstruct it. We recognize that sense of self is just 4 actions. We consciously change those 4 actions, and that sense of self, the stress, passes through like a clear sky. And you'll notice, I mean, when you practice this, it's definitely legit. You'll do it, and what will happen is you'll probably just start thinking about something else, because it takes a lot of focus. You're like, okay, shoulders relaxed, deep breathing. I'm not thinking about the thoughts of whatever I'm stressed out about. I'm just really tuned into what it feels like to be inside my body, and a feeling of calm, fills your body, and that takes focus. So like you're just meditating, right? You take a moment to meditate. That's what you're doing, and as you're trying to stay in this concentrated place, a new thought will come up, and you'll probably just, think about that thought for a few minutes until you remember what you're stressed out about, and then the feeling will flood back in immediately, and you'll remember your perception on why you don't think the solution might not work, and you need more solutions, and the verbal dialogue will start kicking off, and the anxiety will come back in, and your shoulders will tense back up again, and it comes back, and then you deconstruct it again. And you just keep doing that over and over again. So it's like, sometimes those lenses, that sense of self is strong in it, and it really wants the floor. But if you're conscious of it, you can work with it. You dance with it. It doesn't need that sense of self. You just acknowledge the sense of self with kindness, and you're like, oh, there you are again. There you are, stress about this situation that I really want to go a certain way. We already talked. You helped me come up with a solution. Thank you. And but I don't need to unproductively think about this situation anymore. So I will say goodbye. And you say goodbye through changing the process that is creating that sense of self to begin with. So yeah, I love that. I loved that quote, I as a concept. And yeah, through your meditation process, you'll see that you're doing it, when you are doing it, how you are doing it. And when you're aware of it and you take conscious control over the 4 building blocks that create that sense of self, you will see your desires and your wants and that verbal dialogue pass through like a cloud in a clear sky, and another cloud will come through, another desire, and you'll think about that. And you can do the same process for that next cloud. Maybe it's another unproductive cloud. Same process. Yeah. And through that process, it's helping us, really question what we consider to be me, right? Because is that you? I mean, that whole stressed out part of yourself. I mean, you can literally deconstruct it and for a moment completely forget about it. So, and it's like it's not even there, and then it arises again, but I don't know, it's very impermanent. So since it went away, is that you? Because we talk about it like it's me, like, oh, I really need to solve the problem. Like, it's a practically speaking, you use I, right? You use I because it's just practical. It's just how language works. But we do take it so personally. We take it super personal, and we get confined and stuck thinking that this is me right now. I'm in this super stressed out situation, and there's nothing I can do about it. I, right? There's nothing I can do about it. I'm stuck like this right now until like this passes. And that's okay, that's the planner is stressed out planner, right? And then you just change its building blocks. And then that sense of self passes through like a cloud in the sky. It can be very freeing, that you're not, it can be very freeing to feel like, oh, I don't have to be stuck. I don't have to be stuck in these unproductive, stressful thought spirals. Very freeing. Not be stuck in those lenses. stuck with one pair of one sense of self, stuck in one sense of self. And like we said in the last quote, when you're stuck in that one sense of self, so if you're stressed out about something, that planner is stressed out, you're only seeing the obstacles, you're trying to find a solution, and everything else is blurry. So that's what happens to your reality. And you're just stuck in that. That becomes your reality, and that's all you're able to see. That's and you just have a distorted view of reality, and it's miserable. You're confined in this miserable place, and for what? Because you don't know that you don't have to be. Yeah. And then you have the practice. The practice is so great. It's so nice. Nice not to be confined in unnecessary suffering. We have agency over which lenses we're looking through. And maybe not looking through any lenses at all. That's another story. Let's go on to the next quote. Any questions? I would love questions. I love questions. Don't be shy. Moving on to the next quote. That doesn't mean you can't ask on the previous quote. What is going on here? My quote's messed up. Let me see. Where is it? There it is. So weird. Plant Genie, what is our real fulfillment? What is our real fulfillment? Okay, we're getting deep. So what is our real fulfillment? Okay. Let me gather some thoughts. Because our real fulfillment... Well, what isn't... Well, I guess... Here we go. What is not our real fulfillment? So... all of our desires... Stress. What is our real fulfillment? Stress. I don't know what you mean by stress there. Oh, I see. What is our not real fulfillment? Is stress. Yes, right. But what are we stressed out about? I don't know. I'm really bad at thinking of examples. Let me think. You want something. We did this last time, but whatever. Sorry, people. I need to sit down and think of some good examples of things that we want. But anyway, you want a promotion at work. That's a desire, so that is a sense of self. That is the we'll call it the striver. You could just label that the striver. Like, you're thinking about how to get ahead, where are your opportunities. You have your striver glasses on. You're seeing where are all the opportunities to get ahead, who's in your way. You see the obstacles, and everything else is blurred, right? And those glasses make you hungry. That sense of self is hungry for the outcome, and it wants that promotion, and that's the food, and that's the fulfillment, right? That striver wants to feast on the satisfaction of the promotion. I got it, right? And it's fulfilling. But what happens is, with our human condition, is you get that promotion, and it's satisfying for a second, but then you want something else. You want another desire. You have another desire popping up, and then you're gonna be hungry and chase after that. And the mistake. So we take. So every sense of self that we have is a desire, and they all want something worldly. They want something that's impermanent, and they ultimately don't offer lasting fulfillment. But that's what they're all searching for, is a lasting fulfillment. I mean, and that's like the quote you probably hear all the time is, I just need this thing and then I'll be happy. Right? These two other things just need to happen and then I'll be happy. And that's just a false promise because, well, whatever you want is impermanent, and so you get the promotion and then maybe the company fails and then you're out of a job. So it's not lasting, and then our sense of satisfaction isn't lasting either. Right? Even if the promotion, you keep that job, it's not satisfying long term. We're gonna want something else. So and yeah, all the wants are just incessant. Like every time a desire is satisfied, a new want is gonna come up, because we're looking for that ultimate fulfillment. And at least the Eastern practices are saying, well, you're looking for fulfillment in stuff that's impermanent, and you're just going to be on your hamster wheel forever, stressing out about how it's not working out and you're not getting it. So yeah, it ultimately just causes stress in this endeavor for fulfillment. So what is the real fulfillment? I guess the real fulfillment then is to be free of the cravings. That's what the Buddhist philosophy is anyway. The freedom is to see the impermanence of all the things that you want, and know that ultimately they're not going to make you happy, and just recognizing that it's not ultimately going to satisfy, so giving up the desires, because the desires cause stress, right? And yeah, so overcoming craving for things we know won't ultimately satisfy, that is real fulfillment. What is there? What is that? I mean, that's a really good question. I can't like really tell you, because I want things. So not sure. Ask someone else. What my guess is well, we talked about how each desire is a sense of self. We're always putting on those glasses, and it's distorting our reality. So what would it mean if we overcame the cravings and didn't want to put on the glasses? We would have a very clear view of reality. You'd have a super clear view of reality without distortion. And I'm sure the answer is there. You know, the real fulfillment is seeing without any distortion. Maybe there's answers there. I don't know. I mean, there's promises that there's answers there, but I like to focus on the practical, because I mean it is true that it's just a relief to recognize that worldly things aren't going to satisfy you forever, and when you do get caught up in a stress cycle, it's just something to come back to. Like, what am I stressing out about this for? I'm going to get it, and it's not gonna do anything for me long term. Like, it'll be cool, I'll like having it, that'll be nice, but it's not gonna do anything for me long term. So why am I getting so turned inside out about it? Why am I letting all of it get to me so intensely when it's not gonna matter after I get it? Yeah. So just coming back to that impermanence, it's a relief. Immediate relief. That's the short-term stuff anyway. And I think that short-term stuff makes the practice worth it, for sure. Yeah. Hopefully that answered it. Let me know if you have follow-up questions. Thank you for the question, Plant Genie. Any other questions? I'm gonna make a move here. Playing the chessy chess. I like the chess intermittent breaks for the magical mystical book tour. We call it the magical mystical book tour because I am Mystic Yogi. My name's Evan, by the way. Magical, mystical, kind of a nod to the Beatles. Book tour, it's not a book club anymore. It was a book club, but it's not a book club because you don't have to read the book. I got the quotes here on screen. We're in chapter 3 of Mindfulness in Plain English. Don't read it if you don't want to. Just tune in. Subscribe to support me, support this work. Follow to know when I'm on, and keep engaging in this stuff because it's so fun. I just love engaging with this stuff. Such a relief, like we talked about. Not being confined by senses of self that we think are us, and just getting stuck in a holding pattern for no reason. We have agency. There are tools to stop identifying with a sense of self that is just causing us suffering. Like being stressed out about something and you're continue thinking about it and you don't need to think about it anymore. Like, how do you get out of that? Watch the VOD. It's there. It was the previous quote. Anyway, making a move. Where are we at? We got our rooks connected. We castled long. Be nice to get this bishop looking at something. Oh, I like my knight here, but I can't do that because that pawn. Okay, how do I, Oh, he took my we traded dark square bishops. I don't really like trading here. Just because... Well, actually I do. Now that I have this rook here, opening the eyes of my rook, I kind of like that. Why not? Let's open up the center. This feels good. And you'll come down and take. That's fine. Oh, I like this. I think I just want to keep opening up the center and start looking, eyeing my pieces at the king. Is there a better move? I could move here immediately, but I don't know. The best? What's the best move here? I like playing for best moves. We're gonna check it with the computer at the end. These are just little intermissions between the Mystic Book Club, and just a pause for questions. If you got questions, hit me up with some cues, and I will give you some A's. Yeah. What are we gonna do? Kind of feeling like I want to take. Let's do it. I don't know if that was best. Oh my goodness. We're playing at 250 here, so I don't think I can actually go wrong here. But now we're just going to start bringing all our pieces in. I'll stop there for now. We'll look at the next quote. This next quote. When you relax your driving desire for comfort, real fulfillment arises. When you drop your hectic pursuit of gratification, the real beauty of life comes out. When you seek to know reality without illusion, complete with all its pain and danger, real freedom and security will be yours. Definitely. So before I go over the beginning of this quote, I really kind of wanted to talk about the end of this quote. As we've been covering the sense of self, and how you're putting on lenses that distort your reality. And fear is definitely one of those big ones. Pain and danger, right? Me and wife were just talking about what are they? Like true crime shows? True crime shows. And they are she was telling me she heard they're super popular with female audiences. And I don't remember what she was listening to this, but it was something about that women like watching true crime more because it helps them feel prepared for danger. And there's definitely some truth to that, right? Because you cannot live your life ignoring threats, right? Fear is a tool we use to keep ourselves alive, and fear in moderation is necessary for survival. So, not saying that fear is bad, but going back to true crime addiction, what happens when you're watching true crime all the time? You're constantly thinking about it, right? And it's a desire to be safe, right? And that's a sense of self. Hello, desire for safety. Hello, desire for safety. And fear of danger. That's that sense of self's name, right? And yeah, they watch all the shows. They read the true crime novels, and they think about it all the time. So you start thinking about it all the time. Every time you're out by yourself, you're confined in it, right? And we talked about what a sense of self is. It's a distortion on reality. You put your lenses on. And these are helpful in moderation, right? You put your lenses on and you are scanning for the danger. You're seeing things that could be danger. You're seeing opportunities on how you could escape the danger, right? You see the opportunities and the obstacles, um, and you miss everything else. Your reality is distorted. Every time you identify with that I that starts consciously talking in your mind, um, your reality is distorted for the reasons we just mentioned. And then you're also confined in that sense of self's holding pattern, right? It has a holding pattern in the body. Maybe it's a gripping in your deep core. Your diaphragm is held. Did I get a follower? I didn't see it. I thought I heard something. Maybe it was the music. I don't think I did. I don't see a follower. That was funny. I think in the music it has a little bell that sounds just like a follower. Anyway, follow if you wanna know when Magical Mystical Book Club comes on. We're talking about, where was I just now? Fear, right? You can be confined in the fear because you think about it all the time, and that's a sense of self. And what does that feel like? Oh, it is the music. X Deexie. Deexie? How would you say that? Can I call you Deexie? Hey Deexie. Thank you for tuning in to Magical Mystical Book Tour. We're talking about this quote, and I'm talking about how when you are confined in fear, well, have you heard what I was talking about with this quote so far? I can totally restart, because I don't know how many people are here. I shouldn't actually. I'm getting all discombobulated. I'm gonna keep going. You didn't. Okay, no, that's fine. I'm gonna recap for you. I don't keep my viewers up because it messes with my concentration. But I know there's not a lot of people in here, so if you've been chilling in here, forgive me. I'm gonna repeat for Dixie because thank you for chatting, Dixie. Anyway, so the quote: when you relax the driving desire for comfort, real fulfillment arises. When you drop your hectic pursuit of gratification, the real beauty of life comes out. When you seek to know reality without illusion, complete with all its pain and danger, real freedom and security will be yours. So I wanted to bring in this quote first. I want to talk about the end of it, which is pain and danger. So I was talking with my wife just the other day about she was listening to some podcast, and they were talking about true crime shows, and I guess the biggest audience of true crime shows happen to be women, and the reason they tune in to true crime often, the thinking is because they want to feel prepared. It's all about preparation. You see all the bad things that can happen. When you see all the bad things that can happen, you feel more prepared to go out into the world. Right. So the problem with this, though, is that when you I should say that fear is definitely super great in moderation, right? And fear is definitely what we use to keep us alive. You don't want to go out into the world unprepared, or you're more likely to die, and our whole biology is built around not dying. So right, I used to love true crime and Criminal Minds, etc., but it started stressing me out. LOL. Definitely. Plant Genie. Are you female? Does gooning count as preparation? Does gooning count as preparation? I don't know what gooning is. Nice. Nice. Did it help you feel more prepared for the world? Anyway, so what we were talking about earlier in the stream is um, what desires are. And every desire, like playing with myself. Does gooning count as preparation? Not sure. I'm not sure. What do you mean? Gooning. I haven't heard gooning. Maybe I can, what's it called? Urban Dictionary it. Anyway. So you're thinking about, every desire that you have in your mind is can be thought of as a sense of self, and it is a sense of self, because when we're worried about, danger, when we're worried about danger, there's an conscious I voice that comes into our mind. Oh, I'm really worried that I'm in this location. I better look out for any strange people, right? So that we can see that as a sense of self, and that sense of self is fear of danger, and wanting safety, right? You can call that sense of self fear of danger, wanting safety. And so when you're wanting safety, it can become confining because, as we talked about, you have these lenses. Every sense of self is a lens, and you see the world through those lenses. So you see opportunities for safety, and you see potential dangers, potential threats, and everything else is blurred. You don't see anything else. Right. So, and that fear can be super confining because we don't realize that we can get stuck with those shades on. We don't realize that we can get stuck with that sense of thinking, we don't realize we can get stuck in that sense of self. Right. So what I'm trying to say with this quote is that we can if we constantly think about how we can become threatened, it's going to distort our reality to the point where all we see are the threats, right? Where all we can see are the threats, and it's a super tough place to be in because we're missing, the rest of reality. Every desire distorts our reality, right? And we're missing it. So, and this goes into how to relax those desires, right? So we talked about the building blocks of those desires. It's how we hold our body, our perceptions, our internal dialogue, and our feelings. And we can consciously change them because it gets unproductive to worry about safety in unnecessary situations. And what's interesting is, right, so when we take on that sense of self and we're looking through that lens of searching for danger, we're also going to see things that aren't necessarily there. it's a distortion on reality. So someone down on their luck comes up and talks to you, um, we can, I mean, we can see it as way more threatening than it actually is. Dharmadam, thank you for following. Thank you for following. I'm getting through this quote. Thank you for following, for sure. Gang, how's the reading going? Oh, cool. Are you yes. Awesome. It's that I've changed the name of the book club. It's now Magical Mystical Book Tour. The book tour, because you don't have to read the book. I bring the quotes. And we're in chapter 3 of Mindfulness in Plain English. You don't have to read it, but I got the quotes. Very beastly, lol. Beatlesy. Oh, very Beatlesy. It is a nod to the Beatles. I thought, I mean, it really worked out, because it was a Mystic Yogi, and I was calling it Mystic Book Club, but that just felt like so, I don't know. It didn't feel right. I just wanted it to be more fun. And then magical, mystical, I mean, that is definitely, like, immediately makes me think of Beatles, or Beatles inspired that idea, whatever one comes first. It's hard to say. And then I liked the tour at the end, because book club is just so implying that you have to read the book. You don't have to read the book. I heard Mindfulness in Plain English is a banger. I haven't read it though. Well, we're on chapter 3. I've definitely liked it so far. It's I mean, it has a lot of good pointers towards unconditioned mind and stuff. So, and yeah, and through, I don't know if you've tuned into a stream before, but Auntie, what is that? Theravada? Ooh, I don't know. I would guess he was Theravada, but I don't know. I'm not sure. Let's see. I have it here. Maybe there's an about him. Yes. About him. Wait, that's not about Bhante. Buddhist monk. Doesn't say. It sounds like a Theravadan kind of book to write. I know. I like the Theravada too. The guy I really like is Thanissaro Bhikkhu. I don't know if you've heard of him. I got some of his books for free. I just love that guy. His books are probably the books I primarily read, I would say, for sure. Definitely influences me the most, especially in what I'm talking about now. Which is that continuing when you put on that when you identify with that desire for safety, you put on a lens in which you see reality, and you're seeing all the opportunities. I like Goodreads, but like a still force pull, quintessential Dzogchen on having no head. That is awesome. I definitely want to get some book recommendations for the Mystical Book Tour. So yeah, join the Discord, please. That would be super awesome. I would love to have you in there. For sure. Awesome. I think it'll be really great. I'm super excited about this whole project. So yeah, you put on when you identify with a sense of self, it's like you're putting on the lenses of that sense of self, and it distorts your reality in the sense that you, so we're talking about fear, you see all the potential of fear. And you, so yeah, if someone down on their luck comes up and talks to you, and you're confined in the sense of self that is craving safety, and is um, fearing danger, uh, you can distort that interaction and think that they mean you harm when they don't. You'll have a completely different um, interpretation of that situation. That's where that whole idea comes from, like different interpretations of different situations. Like each person sees the situation differently. How do we see it differently? We see it differently through our desires. Based on what we desire um, in that moment determines how we are seeing reality, and and affects our interpretation. So, right, we were talking about how a lot of women can get into the habit of watching a lot of true crime, and they will constantly think about their safety and danger, and they will be confined in that sense of self, the sense of self that I want the safety. Do you know those water analogies Buddha gave? Their dope desire being like water that has died. I haven't heard that one. I haven't heard the died water analogies Buddha gave. Their dope desire being like water has died. I like it though. Okay, so we're gonna go over it with Dharma Dam's reference to a Buddha quote, because I think I understand it. Like if you're looking maybe at the bottom, you can see the bottom of a pond through some clear water. A desire puts a lens on your reality. It distorts your reality, so it's like putting some dye into the water and looking at the bottom of the pond again, and it's altered. It's different. I mean, it's all the same, right? But the interpretation of it is different. Maybe you thought the color of a rock down there was one color, but it's actually a different color. You're seeing the same rock, but you have a lens on your reality based on the desire. So, what is the desire? The desire in this example is fear. So if you're just entrenched in fear, you're going to dye your water the fear color, and you're going to see so much more danger. You're going to see danger around you that might not necessarily be there. So I don't have the sutta, but I found some bhikkhu listing them. Sensual desire is like dye that you put into the water. Ill will is like boiling the water. Sloth and torpor are like slime and algae that grow in the water. Restlessness and anxiety are like wind blowing over the water, and doubt is like putting the water into a dark place. In none of these cases can you see your reflection clearly in the water. Okay. Shoot, getting into reflection here. Let me see. Sensual desire. Ill will is like boiling the water. Like slime and algae. I mean, they're all desires, and they're all distortion on what is actually there. Restless and anxiety is like wind blowing over the water. I don't know. Yeah, I think you can mix these up too. Like, I think these are arbitrary. Like restlessness is like slime and algae that grow in the water, or sloth and torpor is like putting the water in a dark place. Well, maybe not that one. Who knows? But it all seems like different distortions. In none of these cases can you see your reflection clearly in the water. See your reflection clearly. The reflection verbiage always has me a little confused. I can't pinpoint. I haven't really because in none of these cases can you see your reflection clearly in the water. Reflection, I mean, I guess what I immediately think of is like, uh, I don't know. What is your interpretation of that last thing? If in none of these cases can you see your reflection clearly in the water? Because, yeah, what is your interpretation of that? Because I see it as seeing reality clearly, right? Because when we have these, when you have sensual desire top of mind, yeah, seeing mind clearly, right? Mind, big mind being, I mean, what? Like just pure awareness, undistorted awareness of reality. I mean, I guess you are part, I mean, our bodies are earth, so like you're seeing, I don't know. But yeah, anyway, sensual desire is you you object to dualism. You object to dualism implied in reflection. No, it's not that I object to any of it. It's just like um I can't put it into simplified language. Like the idea of reflection. Like it hasn't like it's not clear to me. I can't like break it down into basic language in what it's saying. Like I can say like sensual desire. Um, we can take that to be me. That desire, we can take that desire to be me. I want sex, and then if we identify with that desire and feed that desire, we are looking through that lens, and we see all the opportunity, all the things that we want, and we probably see the obstacles. So maybe we become more critical of our physical form. We see our physical form as probably worse than it is, because we're thinking, oh, the way I look, my body is preventing me from getting sex. So, and that becomes that sense of self, like, I wish I looked better, and I want that person, right? So that's all. You're saying desire is a valid insight object. Am I saying desire is a valid insight object? Um, I guess so. Is desire a valid insight object? Well, I think I would say yes, because um we desire, yeah, so in this same example, um um you can recognize that you're looking through this lens of desire, of wanting sex and that sensual stimulation, and then you can break that sense of self down. You can notice the building blocks of that sense of self, which is the way you're breathing and your perceptions, that you want the sex and that you're constantly thinking about it all the time, which is the what's it called, verbal internal dialogue, and just that internal feeling. So you can work with those building blocks of that desire, and it'll pass and it'll be gone, and a new desire will arise, and then there's space in between those thoughts, right, where you aren't identifying with anything, where that is that pure awareness. So yeah, you need right, it's like black writing on paper, right? And we could say the white paper is true awareness. But if all you could see is white paper, like if that was the only thing that made up your vision, like what are you looking at? It's like, well, I'm not looking at anything. There's nothing here. But when you put black words on the paper, which is the desires, which is these senses of self that we take on, and And then we see those. It's like, oh, there's contrast, right? I can see. Feel free to tell me if prodding questions are weird. I will stop. LOL, just trying to understand. No, I love it, dude. Thank you for the questions. I mean, this is definitely what I want for this stream anyway. I love the inquiry. And I mean, yeah, because you like, I love the challenge because the reflection, I don't know how it ties, I don't know how the analogy reflection works for everything I just said. Like, I hear it all the time and I like, you know, contemplate it like with this quote, but I don't like, I don't know, I can't put it into simple terms like everything else that I'm saying. Like, but I'm sure it's pointing to the same thing. I just, so where I was at was that it's like paper, right? So pure awareness is like the white paper, and we have this sensual desire and it's covering it up, it's distorting it. It's like black words on a white paper, but you can see those because there's contrast, and you can see, oh, this is my desire for a sensual experience, and you can tune into you can enter in a meditation and tune into breath energy, or I should say proprioceptive awareness, present moment sensation, and see those thoughts pass and see that desire pass, and completely forget about it, and it's gone, and then it'll rise again. So it's just like this constant contrast, and then it's like, oh, but what is in between that? And because, like you were asking, you're saying desire is a valid insight object. I mean, I feel like it's kind of necessary insight object, because without it, there would be no contrast and you wouldn't be able to sense into awareness itself. So I think there's like 3 different meanings of the word going on. Something like memory, a mirror, or something thought-based is my guess. Like memory, a mirror. I mean, definitely a mirror. Memory. I don't know. I don't know. I don't understand the reflection verbiage. Let me think. Because okay, here's what I'm thinking. If you're looking in the water, and you see a reflection, and there's no distortion, you're seeing yourself. Okay, so this is you're seeing yourself clearly. So this is where I guess I get confused. The self clearly, you're seeing the self clearly. Maybe that's just like awareness itself. I think it was a Theravedic quote, so I didn't think it meant in a trippy tantric way. LOL. Oh yeah, I don't know. I didn't take it as a trippy tantric way anyway, so. But I'm taking it as like, if you're looking in a clear view of water, without a clear pool of water without distortion, and you're seeing yourself, maybe it's just saying, like I think you said, big mind, seeing mind clearly, seeing the awareness in and of itself, like you're seeing, like you're taking on the perspective of awareness, and you are seeing that clearly, versus a desire comes into the mind and it looks at its reflection through the perspective of that desire, and it says, oh, this is me. I want, because it's like a light, right? And it shines its light on the desire, So it's like our last example was the I want sex. So it's like there's a craving for sex, and then you take that to be me, and you're missing that you're the awareness of the craving rather than the craving itself. Well, it seems the original analogy was water being like mind, and all the analogies were mind states. See? Ill will is like boiling the water. Sloth and torpor are like slime and algae that grow in the water. Yeah. In none of these cases can you see your reflection clearly in the water. I take it as, in the original analogy, water being like mind. So the reflection being like mind, and all analogies were mind states. Yeah, I like that, but yeah, it seems semantic. What is mind or not mind? The term becomes not very useful, and seems mostly people just cutting the cake differently, so to speak. I feel like I agree with that. Mind or not mind. Yeah. I just like the term awareness. I really like the term awareness, like a light of awareness. I mean, I got like, yeah, I mean, mine's cool. I don't know. It just it makes it feel more confusing to me. But I guess I like big mind and small mind. I feel like that's cool because small mind being, um, small mind being any desire you have, any sense of self. Every desire is a different sense of self, and that sense of self incarnates you, right? The desire for food, right? If you're really hungry, you start speaking for that desire as if it were you. I really want food. I really want um, um, ice cream, or I really want um, whatever meal you're craving, and you take on that desire to be me. You start saying I for it. Check this from the Buddha. Rely on the meaning, not the words. Check this from the Buddha. Rely on the meaning. Right. Exactly. Rely on the meaning, not the words. Yeah. And that's what this whole magical mystical book tour is all about, is cutting through to the meaning. What is the meaning, and how do we make the meaning practical? But yeah, I think you can just see how people are using words and understand what the meaning is. I think you can just how people are using words in spiritual domain. Well, do you mean and not understanding what the meaning is? But yeah, I think you can just see how people are using words and not understanding what the meaning is. Is that what you meant? You mean not there? Spiritual domain, at least. Anyway. Yeah, small mind being every desire, and big mind being that light that, who you truly are, who the I actually is, and who we all are, right? Is that, is awareness itself, and awareness shines on those desires, the desire of I'm hungry, the desire, the hunger desire, and then we take it to be me, and that's where I comes out of. I want this meal. This is what I'm craving. But really, it's just the desire speaking, and we can't take that desire to be me because it can be deconstructed. It can be deconstructed. It has 4 building blocks, which are called aren't they called? They're called fabrications. That's Theravada. They're called fabrications. Every desire, I want food, can be deconstructed into fabrications. And they're, well, let's change it from I want food to something like we'll do the sex because we were talking about sex. I want sex. So there's a bodily fabrication, like maybe it's just like a holding and a craving, maybe in your gut, and maybe your breathing gets more rapid. Um, there's a perception of what you know you like, what you have decided you liked, and then there's a internal dialogue, and you start talking about well, there's the perception of what you like, and then there's an internal dialogue that immediately um, reacts to that perception, and that's the I coming through. I like that, whatever. And then there's a whole entire just feeling tone with that, um, that feeling of craving, of wanting, right? And that is that sense of I. And then you put all those together, and then it's I want sex, right? Um, and you can deconstruct it. You can deconstruct it. Notice how your breathing is, and notice where your holding pattern is, and you can change your breathing. Um, you can notice your verbal dialogue spinning out about what you want, and you can calm that verbal dialogue by sensing into proprioceptive awareness, sensing into present moment sensation. What is it like? What does it feel like to be in your body right now? Um, Concentrating on that sensation very deeply will quiet the will quiet those voices. And by changing your breathing pattern, by consciously relaxing your holding pattern in your body, and by tuning into present moment sensation and quieting the thoughts, you're going to change the feeling of the situation, and your perception is going to be about present moment sensation. And what happens is that that sense of self, of I want sex, um, passes by like a cloud in the sky. That was a previous quote that we went over. It passes like a cloud in the sky, and so it's just impermanent. Where is that? Where is that sense of self that wanted the sex? It's gone now. You can recall it back, but it's not. It's impermanent, and since it is impermanent, how can you call it you? Right? I mean, you completely um, um, deconstructed it. You completely deconstructed that self through consciously altering the four building blocks that had made it up before. So there's just action. There's just action, and there's awareness of the action, and the awareness, right? Mere jargon. I don't know. Where were we on the quotes? I mean, on your check the blue. But yeah, I think like someone can use the word mind differently. Someone can use the mind differently to you, but if you know how to frame it in your own understanding, then you can understand what they are getting at. That is true. That's true. And yeah, that's the goal of the book club. Magical Mystical Book Tour. That's the goal of the book tour, is to discuss understanding in simpler verbiage, in basic verbiage, not woohoo verbiage, so that we can make it practical to us and practice. Yeah. Cool. I'm gonna go on to the next quote. Last one for the night. Yep. The other one up. All my quotes were messed up, but I'm good here. Vipassana meditation gradually opens us up to this new view of reality as it truly is. And this is a culmination of everything we've been talking about. Because, well, let me make a couple moves here. I gotta make some moves. I kind of like this. I should probably just take this rook because it's free. I do a couple chess moves just as a transition between quotes. And if you have any other questions, feel free to add them. If you're just joining, this is the Magical Mystical Book Club. Join the Discord. We cover spiritual books and just try to make them relatable and easy to understand, and turn them into a practice that we can actually make sense of, and a practice that'll actually have an effect on our lives that isn't just so woohoo and connecting with the universe and Om Shanti stuff, right? That's the goal anyway. Dharma Dom, you've been great in this stream. I love talking to you. It would just be so fun to get a whole community of people who are into this stuff. I'm stoked about it. It's cool to find you. Very fun. That's what I'm going for. Let's see. This looks cool. There's just a mate here. If I did here, he has to come here. And then I don't think that's mate though. If I move up here, this looks interesting. Let's try this. Oh my goodness. Epic. This is why I'm not very good. Tell me about your practice. I'm about to tell you about... Oh my gosh. Okay. Wow. No one ignore... We're going back. We're going back to Dharma Dom. Tell me about your practice. Completely ignore everything that just happened. No, tell me about your practice. It's okay if you have another one. Yeah, the quote I'm about to bring up, Vipassana meditation. I'm about to talk about what my practice is, because it gradually opens us up to this new view of reality as it truly is. What does that mean? Opening us up to the true reality as it really is. It means seeing reality as it is without a filter. Because we've talked about when you have a desire for something. When you have a desire for something, it distorts your reality. You see opportunities, you see obstacles, and everything else is blurred. It goes by unnoticed. And each desire, you have 1,000 of them. Each desires its own ego, its own sense of self, and its own distortion on reality. So there's a part of you that wants to scroll your phone. That's a sense of self, and that's a lens to view reality. There's a part of yourself that gets hungry. That's a lens that's super important. You put on that lens, and it's gonna help you find the food that you need in that moment, and you can't be bothered by all the other distracting things that are on the planet. You need to get your food, so you'll survive. Right? So every desire is a different sense of self, and and when you put on the lens of that desire, it alters your view of reality into wants, into opportunities to get what you desire, obstacles, and it blurs out everything else. And the problem is, like, it's a very functional thing. It's how we get through the world. We need it, but we don't realize that we are have glued on a perception, a view of the world, right? Like this can happen. In the previous quote we were talking about was fear as a perception, right? We were talking about Criminal Minds, true crime shows, Women like to watch true crime shows because it helps them feel prepared uh, for the world, for danger, right? But you're constantly thinking about your safety and danger. Um, that's that's a sense of self, the sense of self that wants to be safe and wants to notice dangerous situations um, before they happen, so that you can be safe. And with that lens on the world, um, you have a misinterpretation. You know, someone can come up to talk to you at night, and you immediately think your perception of it is that they're trying to cause you harm. When maybe if you weren't constantly looking through the lens of your safety and fear of danger, um, you would see that interaction completely differently. And that's that whole idea that uh, you know, we all experience the same thing, but everyone has their own interpretation of it based on what lenses we have on, which sense of self um, we're identifying with in the moment that we experience that. So vipassana meditation, um, it opens us up to this view of reality. So right, why do we sit? Why do we sit? We sit to increase our awareness of the voice in our head, and we increase our awareness of this new concept of a sense of self. Because um, when you sit and you're quiet and you allow your mind, uh, well, you're trying to focus um, the mind will crave something and it'll want to think about something. And maybe it's like a plan for uh, a promotion you want at work, and you just start thinking about you take on that identity of the striver who wants that promotion, that part of yourself that wants the promotion, and you put that lens on, and you're just thinking about the opportunities and stuff in your meditation, and then through meditation, uh, the whole goal, your whole intention is to notice ideas pop up, and you say, "Oh, I'm thinking about my promotion at work," and you can label this thinking pattern, this sense of self that you're identifying with. Because as you're thinking about the promotion, you're using um, the pronoun I. You know, oh, I really want to do. I really want to do this thing tomorrow so that it will impress this person, and oh, I could get away with it. I could do that, and you're just an I form, and then you say, oh, um, I'm really thinking about my promotion a lot tomorrow. Who's that I? Who is that I that's thinking who wants the promotion? I'll label it the striver that wants the promotion, and that is a sense of self, and that's not me. That is its own desire. Um, and you say hi to it, and then you say not now, uh, going back in, and then you tune back into present moment sensation. What is it like to feel your sit bones on the cushion? What is it like to feel your breath? What is it like to be breathing? Sensing inside your body for pulsation. Um, I don't know, bioenergetic hum. What is it like to be in the body, right? And and then another desire will pop up, and you'll notice that. Oh, am I missing? Oh, I had to scroll down. Um, Tell me about your practice. And another queen. Oh, wow. Oh, I do have another queen. Not now. Is it Joseph Goldstein? Oh, I don't know. I don't know if who Not Now is from. But yeah, definitely. So yeah, Not Now, and you're talking to that entity, that desire that you take to be you, right? And as you do this, you become more aware and more conscious of your desires throughout the day. Pretty sure I heard it from him at least, definitely. Yeah, I feel like the first time I heard that, it was probably on I think I was on an Insight meditation timer. And yeah, as a thought comes up, you just tell that um, desire not now, right? And through the meditation, uh, you notice which desires are stronger, which desires you're more confined by. Maybe you think about your promotion constantly. Every time you sit down for a meditation, you're thinking about something that has to do with your work. You're like, wow, I really want these things to happen for me at work. And maybe what? I don't know. Some other desire. Maybe money. Money's a big one, right? Some kind of money uh stress. You're wanting financial security. Um and you think about that all the time and you're like, oh, there's the desire for financial security, not now. Anyway, so you become and as you label them, you get to know them, right? Oh, there's a striver for work, there's financial security, there's the desire to scroll that can come up with it. That can come up in meditation. Maybe you just start imagining, oh, it'd be um kind of want to scroll right now, right? So there's a desire to scroll. And you have your mind committee. Those are all the people that you take to be you. And so it makes you aware of them. And then as you go about your day, not in meditation, I mean, you take your meditation practice off of the cushion and, you're eating dinner and it's like, why am I scrolling while I'm eating dinner? Why does that part of me need to um, be satisfied right now and scroll? Or why am I lost in thought um, about work again? Uh, why is why is that sense of self have the floor in my mind? And and you know how to quiet them. That's what the meditation teaches you because you say not now while you're eating, and you turn into sense experience. What is the food like that I'm tasting right now? How do I experience it fully? And that quiets that mind. So anyway, it says Vipassana meditation gradually opens us up to this new view of reality. So if you're eating dinner, right, and you're thinking about that goal you have for work, what happens when you put on that lens is you see opportunities for you to achieve that goal. You see obstacles. You're thinking about the obstacles and how you're going to overcome them and you block out everything else. So if you're thinking about this while you're eating dinner, well, then you're blocking out your dinner, and then you're doing a Patrick Star kind of situation where it's you start dinner and you say, "I think I'll eat it now," and then you eat your dinner, and then you're done, and then you're like, "Oh, I'll think I'll eat it now," and oh, it turns out you already ate your entire dinner, and you weren't there to experience it because you you had taken on the sense of self, the striving self that wants the promotion at work, and then you missed your entire reality. You missed that entire reality. So, vipassana meditation, that's the practice. It's becoming aware of these desires and becoming aware of how we let them incarnate our vision and our mind and our thinking, and we take that to be us, and it's not. The us is just an awareness, and this us is just an awareness. And when we take off those lenses of when we take off those lenses of desire and we tune into present moment sensation, which is what we practice every day on the cushion in meditation. When we turn into present moment sensation, we can tune into whatever we're doing in that moment. We can tune into while we're eating the taste of food, while we're showering. What does a mindful shower mean? Listen to the water on your head, hitting your head. Feel the temperature of the water. Feel how the water temperature feels like a different temperature on different parts of your body. Might feel more warm on your belly and cooler on your head. Uh, right? I don't know. Just what can you what sounds do you hear while you're showering? Maybe you hear the sound of a car passing outside, or I don't know. It's a and it's through that deep listening to present moment sensation, uh, the sensory experience of now that we take off the lens of desire. We take off the distortion that our desire puts on our reality, and we see reality as it is. We taste our food fully, we experience our shower fully, we do the dishes fully. Um, and the better we get, the more practice we get at tuning into present moment sensation and noticing, especially when we notice that we're held by uh, some desire and we're just like looking through those lenses that we can notice it and like, oh, I'm thinking about my promotion again. I'm thinking about that thing I want for work again. Come back to what's now. And yeah, you are open to the new view of reality that isn't distorted. Oh, there you go. As it truly is. This new view of reality as it truly is, not through the distortion of your desires. And that is it. I'm sticking around for 5 more minutes. Dharmadam, I appreciate all the questions. Let me know if you have any other questions or anything to add about what I just said. I have another queen, as you said. Let's checkmate this king. I can't. What did I just do? How did I do that? That was crazy. What did I do? Oh my goodness. Wow. I'm pretty good at this game. Let's see. Let's just bring a piece into the action. Oh goodness, I'm about to blunder my queen again. Let's not blunder the queen again. There we go. Just go with a check. Can we go with a check and a threat anywhere? Yeah, if any of you are just tuning into this for the first time, please hit the follow button. I'm here Saturdays and Tuesdays at 10:30, and I'm definitely signing off at 1 a.m. for sure. Gotta go to bed. But yeah, magical mystical book tour. We're covering spiritual books, um, and grounding them so that we can have a successful practice. Uh, I'm trying to talk and move pieces at the same time. I want to finish the game. Isn't this checkmate? Did I do it? We did it. Plancini loved the quotes today. Thanks, Plancini. Glad you're still here. That's fun. Signing off here in a few more minutes. Oh yeah, and subscribe if you want to support my work too. That'd be awesome. Anyone else is here. Look at this. We're about to checkmate the king. I think this is checkmate anyway. Boom, we did it. We just had to focus for a bit. How many blunders did I have? I had one miss. That had to have been a blunder. Game review, nice one. Thank you, Dharmadam. I also do random chess streams daily. I play chess every day. So subscribe if you, subscribe or follow if you like chess. Uh, I do a chess stream every day for just like an hour. It's not really, I'm not trying to do chess streaming. I'm trying to do this, but I want to learn chess and I play for an hour every day anyway. So I stream it for an hour just as a side thing. Anyway, there aren't any more questions. I think that was the end of this one. This is a super awesome stream. Dharmadam, I'm excited to see you in the Discord. magical mystical book tour. Um, Loved having the discussion with you. I played as a kid, but nowadays I don't like to be mentally taxed by my hobbies. That's true. It's true. It is a commitment. It's also an addiction. Oh, thanks for doing exclamation point Discord and Genie. You're in there. Playing Genie's in there. Anyway, I guess I'm gonna be signing off. Thanks for hanging out. Yeah, I'm gone. Great stream. Thanks for the conversation, Darmadam. I will see you around in another one. Peace. Great meeting you, brother. Yes, great meeting you. All right, see you next time. Peace out, everyone. Follow if you haven't followed yet. Adios.